Happy Valentine's Day to folks. If you have a significant other. If you don't, not a big deal. Well, at least for guys, not a big deal. For women, this is like this is like the championship. And if you don't have someone getting you a gift, you didn't make it to the championships, did you? You fumbled somewhere. Maybe you got to the final four and you flopped. Maybe you didn't even get that close. You were at least in the Sweet 16. You know, you were hanging pretty tough around Christmas time, um, New Year's, whatever. And the guy wisely decided to leave your ass before it got too serious before Valentine's Day. So you didn't get past the Sweet 16. And prior to that, maybe you had a good run during the season, which is prior to Christmas when things start getting serious in a relationship. Maybe you had a good run. You had some dates, maybe off and on with someone, and it didn't get that serious because it was getting Christmas time, and bro decided, yeah, I don't really like her like that. I'm gonna break it off before it gets too serious, and I have to buy her Christmas gifts and shit, and have to come meet the family. You know, I just wanted the cheeks, and that's it. And after he got the cheeks, he was good. So maybe that's the case. Um, or you had a, or you or this was an off season for you. Maybe you rode the bench this whole season, meaning you didn't really date this whole year. You rode the bench, and this can be for guys or girls, but for I'm kind of teasing girls because they're the only ones that really care about this shit. As I was telling someone earlier, I was like, guys don't really care about Valentine's Day. They may pretend to do so, but other than that, no. Um, so, in any case, how far did you guys get with Valentine's? Like I said, were you in? Did you have? Were you in during the season? Did you start off strong this season? You were dating. Did you make it to the Sweet 16, which is, you got to Christmas and New Year's with someone who was had potential? Did you close in uh, uh, throughout late January, early February? That meant you creeped on into the final four. Hmm? Did you make it that far? And did you close the deal today, February 14th? Now, I'll have to say this. There's one more day. There's one more day left. So, ladies, if the guy said, he's busy today because he's going to be with his family, he's working, he's traveling, something like that, you are the side chick, and your day will be tomorrow. Your your gift will be on side chick day, which is February 15th. That's not a it's not an official day, but every player gives his side chick a little something something, his guma, you know, if you like the Italian term. He gives his mistress his guma, his side chick, his 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 jump off. Uh, he gives her a little something something on the day after Valentine's Day on February 15th. So that meant you made it to the All Stars. So you may not have made it to the championship, but you were at least selected for the All Star team. You got onto the All Star team. All right. You made it to the All Stars. 'All 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 Stars. And Lizbeth, I don't know what retarded shit you are sending, but you need you probably need to take your medicine because yeah. In any case, so again, this is Ask Me Anything, but this is the Happy Valentine's Day edition for some of you. For the rest of you, yeah. Uh, Mrs. Contrarian decided to do a hike with her travel group during Valentine's, which is not a big deal. She still got a gift from me waiting for her when she returns home. She just doesn't know it yet, unless she is watching this. But again, guys, I'm just a contrarian. This is Ask Me Anything. So go ahead and ask me anything as long as it is family friendly. And, ask your Valentine's Day questions. Usually I don't take relationship questions, but since it's Valentine's Day, go ahead and, go ahead and ask your relationship stuff. What's up, Carlton? He says, salute, just a contrarian in chat. Um, haven't seen Kick the Theatrics, aka Moonlit Fern, in a while. He still hits me up occasionally on Snapchat, but it's usually just like random messages. So, and the time of day is usually when I'm asleep, so I don't see it till like many hours afterwards. But yeah, so guys, if you want to ask your relationship questions, your Valentine's Day questions, or any questions whatsoever, this is Asking Me Anything, the Happy Valentine's Day edition. So go ahead and ask me your questions, whatever they may be. Just make sure they're family friendly. When I say family friendly, that means two things. One is that you wouldn't be embarrassed to say this sort of stuff in front of your family. That's why it's family friendly. And two, family friendly means that I can I can repeat what you're saying without it getting me demonetized. So that's what I mean when I say family friendly. So aside from that proviso, go ahead and ask me your questions. And like I said, usually I don't take relationship questions unless I'm getting a super chat, but because it's Valentine's Day, I will take relationship questions. So go ahead and ask if you want. If you have questions about other random things, go ahead and do that as well. Meanwhile, I'm gonna get a sip of water. Tom says, "Can monkeys read?" Well, I did say random questions, and that is truly a random ass question. Um, the short answer is no. um, do they have certain linguistic capabilities? Yes. Are they on par with human ability? No. Reading is actually a complex cognitive ability um, that seems unique to humans. Reading and writing. These are not reading nor writing are innate. They they have to. These are learned skills, and as far as I know, monkeys have very limited capacity in that regard. Yeah, go ahead and block him, Carlton, because now he's being a retard. I can tell he was a retard from his username, but I was trying to be diplomatic about it. Because once he said, "Do you like chicken?" and are you, like, yeah, okay, he's retarded. I'm so glad that YouTube allows me to insult these people in the proper way now, because I'm tired of these little autistic fucking trolls and fucking low IQ retards coming on here, and you can't tell them what they actually are. If someone's acting retarded, I want to just say you're being retarded, and it's like clear as day. I don't like to have to beat around the bush and use a whole bunch of euphemisms for retarded. Uh, but at least I answered his first question. But you could, but the random, the random stream of questions just shows that it was something he's dealing with mental health problems or limited intellectual capacity. One of the two, or both. So do be forewarned that if you come here with the shits, I will fry your ass. I will roast you. You might want to check out previous live streams. Might want to check out previous live streams to see what I do with trolls and hecklers. Not very nice to them. I because I put out pretty good information. I expect my people. I expect the people in my audience to rise to the occasion. I will not sink to theirs, especially when I'm doing it for free. Carter says Tom was being slick with his racism, like we couldn't catch him. I know, right? The monkey thing, the chicken, like it, Car- you know what it is, Carlton. Like stupid people who um who think they're being clever just suffer from the Dunning Kruger effect. Like they don't realize they're fucking morons. They think they're being clever. Meanwhile, actual like smart people can tell they're dumb as fuck. Like it's so funny when it's the funniest thing when stupid people actually think they're clever. Classic Dunning Kruger effect. Yeah, Soldier Boy, you're on some faggot shit too, so you can go. I mean, you already on some faggot shit for just even liking Soldier Boy in the first place. For all I care, Soldier Boy sucks. He's whack. He's lame. Only bitches like them back in the day. Teenage bitches who are now 40. That nigga was always lame. I had high regard for for what's his name uh, uh Lil damn what was the guy what was the other little young rapper that was always beefing with all the other young rappers in the day um from Cleveland. It was with Jermaine Dupri. Damn, why can't I remember the dude's name? I actually like him. Um, Snoop Dogg gave him his name because he was in that old Snoop Dogg CD cussing. Bow Wow. Thank you, Lil Bow Wow. I like Lil Bow Wow. I actually rock with him because he could actually rap. But yeah, I remember when Bow Wow and Soldier Boy were beefing. I'm like, what is this? But yeah, I have higher respect for Bow Wow than Soldier Boy. I will actually. There's a few Bow Wow songs I have on my Spotify playlist. There's not one Soldier Boy song on my my Spotify playlist. I mean that one song does jam a little bit. You Soldier Boys. That's like literally the only good song he has. Like that's the only one. Kevin says, "Why did you eat all the watermelon?" So I could spit the seeds in your mother's mouth while I fucked her in the ass and cummed in her and came in her ear. That's why. Then after she received the BBC black pie, uh, cream pie, then she let your little cuck of a father fuck her, and that's how you were born, bitch. That's how Kevin dash Y708M. That's why we ate all the watermelon, just so we could spit the seeds in your bitch ass mother's mouth and not all up in her right before your little cuck ass father had you. Yeah, he he's clearly is. they're not clever, Carlton. Like they start a new username and they think you can't tell. Like they're lucky I don't have Moonlit here. Like Moonlit literally will be finding these folks uh, IP addresses and putting them, and he will put you on blast. Like you can clearly tell these like the person has mental health problems. Like you have nothing else better to do than to troll a content creator. It shows you are a loser in real life. When I was younger, had much better things to do than to troll people. Like, granted, there weren't social media influencers back then, but I mean, we still had our internet outlets for different things like discussion boards, like like the online discussion boards and other things where you would find trolls, chat groups, all that sort of stuff. I had better things to do than be trolling people in an online discussion board or chat group. These people are losers, and we need to start calling these people out for what they are. They're losers. 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 You're a loser if you're following a content creator and trolling them. You're a loser. If you got to change usernames just so you can come back onto a person's uh, live stream to try to mock them and you can't even stand the scrutiny of getting fried, you're a loser. You're a loser in real life and you're a loser online. You should just go fucking jump off a goddamn cliff and delete yourself because you're a loser and you basically pull down the human gene pool just by your very existence. Your mother probably regrets ever having you because she probably preferred the big black dick in her in the first place. I know she preferred mine, but I didn't want the hoe. So your father took the rancid bitch. Because they rather troll than read a book that could better themselves. That's you. Well, you're assuming they have the ability to read a book. Oh no, they so Tr, Trisnaz 1988 says it's called a troll. They are probably long gone. They sent to upset you when they did. No, so he kept coming. He came back under like three different names, Trisnaz. And by the way, I'm not bothered. I'm using this as content. You don't. So some of you guys don't understand. When I'm roasting the fuck out of a troll, I'm not mad. I'm creating content. People are entertained by seeing me roast these fucking morons because the truth of the matter is a lot of people in the chat room get just as exasperated as the content creators. They don't like people clogging up the chat room, being retarded. And on top of that, we lived in a time of wokeness and being politically correct when you couldn't properly call these people out for the low IQ retards and faggots that they are. So again, I'm not mad. I'm just a Gen Xer who likes to insult people. You gotta understand, people who are born in the late '60s, '70s, or early '80s, we lived in a time where we used to just roast people for fun or when we were bored. So to have some young person sit there and try to insult us, it just kicks us right back into those earlier times where I'm like, oh, okay, you wanna crack? You wanna crack jokes? You wanna crack jokes? All right, all right. And boom, just like that. We used to have contests cracking jokes on each other. And some people couldn't take it. Like some people were ready to fight you. So that's what I do. And on top of that, it's my channel, it's my live stream, so I can run it however the fuck I want. If these trolls don't like it, they can always have the option of leaving after they suck my dick, since many of them are on the low anyway. I'm joking about that. But in any case, you get what I'm saying. Like, I don't give a shit about people's feelings. It doesn't mean that I myself is upset. It means that I am using my time to insult these people to create content by mocking them and using them as an example to not fuck with the content creator, or you yourself also will get roasted as well. That's what I'm doing. And people don't understand that. Anywho, why is my screen? Does the screen look kind of? Hold on, guys. All right, sorry about that. The screen was just looking a little miffy to me, but that might just be my eyesight. So I'm about to put on my reading glasses. Uh, Some said Sam 30 says, "What's all this hate? Jesus never." Man, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear that dumbass shit. Y'all be talking all that Jesus shit, and Christians were the ones that went around conquering the whole fucking world under the rubric of Christianity. I don't want to hear that Jesus shit. Man, shut the fuck up with that bullshit. Religious people are the most violent people on the face of the fucking earth. So I don't want to hear no Jesus shit. I don't want to hear any fucking Muhammad shit. I don't want to hear some fucking Buddhist shit. I don't want any fucking Moses shit. I don't want any of that. Religious people have been the most violent, aggressive people on the face of the fucking earth. So don't be coming here and talking about, oh, what's up with all this blah blah blah. Jesus said, yeah, shut the fuck up. Go suck Jesus' dick. How about that? Yeah, I said it. Man, I can't stand y'all motherfuckers. And I'm again, like I said, religious people have been the most aggressive, violent people on the face of the earth, wiping out civilizations, raping, murdering, pillaging, roving, raving. And then you wanna preach. Uh, then you wanna sit there and preach about how people should behave online. Man, if you don't go somewhere and go suck some priest dick. Lucas Block says, "Yeah, you're bald." I mean, exactly. It's my look. If they don't like the way I'm running it, they are fine to go start their own live stream and run it however they like. Mark Lasecki said, "Happy Halloween from Florida." I don't know what Florida. I mean, sorry, I don't know what Halloween you're talking about. If you were talking about Friday the 13th yesterday, okay, but I don't get the Halloween reference. Maybe it has something to do with your avatar. I can't really see Avatar that clearly. Carter says, do you think anyone today will be removing their jacket to place it over a water puddle for that lady to step on? Only if it's Mr. Damn, what was Morris Day's sidekick? Remember Graffiti Bridge? Was it Graffiti Bridge or Purple Rain? He took the girls he took the girl's jacket, took it off, and threw it on the puddle so Morris Day could cross the street and not get his feet dirty. That shit was hilarious. That was like one of the funniest scenes in the movie. I think that was Graffiti Bridge though. Like Morris Day looked up at him. He's like, the dude looked back at him. He's like, excuse me for a second. She's like, hey, what you doing? Ripped her jacket off, threw that bitch in the on the puddle, and that man stepped right on top of it. That's what we do in 2026. We not putting down our jackets. We gonna put the jacket. We gonna put down their jackets. On top of that, that had to been the dumbest tradition ever. Like, why would you? Did people? Then the other question is, did guys really do that, or was that just something that was talked about? Because why would you throw your jacket or the ground to place it over a puddle for a lady to step on instead of the bitch just walking around the puddle? Am I amiss here? why why would this whore just walk around the goddamn puddle? She don't. So I'm supposed to put down my. I'm supposed to throw down my $300 jacket. I'm just throwing a number out there, but I'm supposed to throw down my $300 leather jacket on the ground so this bitch can step on it when she already wearing high heels at that, and two, she could just walk around the goddamn puddle. Man, shit. Trips dash Z4L5L said that was my first impression of you, fam. Yeah, c'est la vie. Bon chance. Causes a chivalry. Here's the funny thing about that, Carlton. If women really knew what chivalry involved, they would never ask for it ever again. Chivalry was not what they think it is. They think chivalry, they're like they're like the daughter of Ned Stark. What was the oldest daughter name? I forgot. Someone else here as a Game of Thrones fan can remind me. But remember the eldest daughter of Ned Stark. She was caught up in all of the legends of romantic knights and chivalry until she actually realized how actual knights actually perform. Knights didn't really protect the weak and look after and look after women. Knights were just a bunch of barons fighting over territory incessantly and given knighthood, which meant they were charged to protect their lords, which was usually the king or a higher level um, lord than them, like a duke or something. But in any case, yeah, chivalry was not very chivalrous. You were you were not in charge to protect the weak and all that sort of crap like they claim. So women should be glad men aren't actually chivalrous because it's not very nice. I'll say that much. Oh, and by the way, if anyone's religious, I'm not trying to insult anyone, but I am spitting facts that, over the course of 2000 plus years, um, people in the pursuit of their spread of their organized religions have been the most warmongering folks on the face of the earth. And I really find it hypocritical that someone would try to chastise me in the name of their savior when people have done the most heinous things in the name of their savior. So I'll leave it at that. Again, shout outs. You need to drop a super chat. Not doing it. I will answer questions. I will answer relationship questions today because it's Valentine's Day. But again, as with every day, if you want me to give you a specific shout out, you're gonna have to drop a super chat. I'm not doing stuff for free anymore. People people have ruined it for you guys in the past. So I no longer do it for free. So I've given shout outs, I have given relationship advice for free. I've done a lot of stuff for free that most most streamers wouldn't do. And what did I get for that as a reward? Absolutely nothing. So nah. Chad says ain't no one taking relationship advice from you. Well, Chad, Sarah Fernandez, you can suck a dick too. I don't give a fuck what you think. You're here on my channel. I didn't ask to come to yours. I don't come to your job kicking dicks out of your mouth. So why you getting on me when I'm doing my work? On top of that, again, I actually do have, I downplay my credentials, but I do have them. So that's why some people ask me things. And when I first started doing this channel, I used to talk with my with my degrees behind me, but I stopped doing that. So This dude say look like you sucked 3 dicks already today. I guess you would know because you do it for a living, Chad. So you're projecting your lifestyle onto others because you're a Peter Puffer for life, just like your father was and his father was before him. It's a skilled trade with you guys sucking cocks. Started always since the Blue Oyster, haven't you? Grace uh, Grace Aliva 5622 says you look like Tanani from Brother Bear. I don't remember who Tanani was. I remember the movie Brother Bear. That was like the Disney movie when they were like in Canada, right? Sorry, if that's the movie I remember with the moose. And I remember telling a friend because she was dating a guy in Canada at the time, even though I was smashing her. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. Um, she was part of. She was in this my frat sister sorority, um, and I was telling her I was like, in the movie Brother Bear, I was like, why is the moose? I said, was that moose retarded? I said, why he always talk that way? She was like, no, he was Canadian. I was like, oh, so that's how they talk, huh? Although most of the Canadians I know don't actually talk that way. That was like a stereotype of Canadians. After I learned, after I've learned, well, hung around more actual Canadians, they don't actually talk that way. But the moose was an exaggeration. But I don't remember who Tanani was. Was that a female bear? Was that one of the Inuit people? I don't remember who Tanani was. Sorry, you'll have to remind me. Do, 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 do. Somebody said how many bodies you got, dude. That's just a silly question. First of all, anyone who anyone who's taken lives probably I was just and I'm saying probably here because there's always the factor of stupidity. Leaving that aside, no one's gonna sit there and tell you that they've committed that they've deleted people even in the military. Like, no, I don't know people in the military who served in even who either served in combat arms or served in special operations that's going to sit there and tell you how many people they offed if they remember. That's just goofy as hell. Like some of you really have no social skills. The kind of dumbass questions you guys ask. I mean, it's funny, but as some there's a gray line where I don't know if it's humor or you just lack social skills. And being that most Gen Z are fucked up in the head because you lived your whole life online and never learned how to deal with people in real life instead of calling it IRL. Like, I think most of you are socially awkward and don't know how to actually talk to people on a human level. You ask retarded questions because you don't even know that they're retarded questions. So that's all I gotta say about that. Oh, sexual partners, bro. I'm definitely not gonna put that on. So I'm really gonna put that on camera, bro. Come on, B. Get your mind right, son. I ain't gonna be. Come on. First of all, if I say the number, which I would never do, but if someone was to give off their numbers, first of all, I'm not stupid like Brittany Renner, but she's a dumb bitch anyway. But leaving putting that aside, look, people are either not going to believe me or they're going to think it's not enough or whatever. So no, that I you know that that is a no win That is a no-win proposition for real. Carter says the people on Vlad TV will give you a body count. Get, yep. Well, because Vlad has the capability of having people tell on themselves all the time. He be having niggas sending themselves to prison because they be telling all their business. They be like, yeah, I off Lil Bimbo. Then last year, this nigga was popping slick, so I had to chop him up, and it's like, and the feds are just watching video like, uh huh. Tell us more. You did who, when, where, what? And I'm pretty sure Vlad supplies them the tapes. You gotta be a dumb motherfucker to go on a Vlad TV uh, interview and ever give him like revealing information about yourself. Like if any celebrity going on his channel that does not already have some sort of agent or lawyer with them is stupid. I said, yeah, I brought up Brat smashing the sorority sister. Yes, I'm talking about something from over 20, like from like 20 plus years ago. On top of that, I didn't say how many people I've laid the pipe. I was making a joke of the fact that she was dating someone long distance in another country. Meanwhile, she was being having her casual fun as most college girls do. So but you took the wrong point from that whole joke. The whole point of that joke was I was making fun of the way Canadians talk, but you decided to to lash onto that small snippet of the joke. Um, that's kind of on you. Shows where your mind is. Anton Anton Faggot official FR says Timu Steve Harvey. Yeah, okay. I'll be a Timu Steve Harvey after a little faggot retard like you, Anton. I mean, your name is Anton, so you're already probably fucking gay as a motherfucker. Your name is LGBTQ coded, and you're probably some little fucking immigrant. Shut up before I call ICE and give them your IP address. What do I think of Steve Harvey's fake daughter? You talking about the one that dates all the celebrities and then they end up dumping her, and then you have all these black women talking about, yeah, you gotta be like her. She's a boss bitch and all that. So you talking about that chick? I don't think anything of her. For one, I don't think she's as pretty as people make her out to be. I think she's quite overrated. I think now that she's getting up there in the dangers, as Kevin Sanders will say, she in the age she's at now, she's in the danger zone. She's going to end up becoming irrelevant because her only claim to fame is her proposed beauty. But since I don't really look at black chicks that way, I don't even care, to be honest. He said she's average. um, yeah, I mean, look, if I were into black chicks, I would give her like a I would give her an adjustable six. Yeah, I would give her an adjustable six, but she ain't all that to me. And I don't care about weave, all that weave shit that she wears. Like she, she's latched onto a lot of prominent black male celebrities, but she doesn't make anything last. And then she's gonna be one of these little bitter celebrities like Lisa Ray and what's the other hoe? Um, I can't remember her name, but she's gonna be like she's gonna be just like all those little bitter bitches that were like hot back in the '90s and even early 2000s, and now they now they grandma age, and they all bitter about men, particularly black men, when they had to pick up the best black men in the world at that time, but they couldn't get the guys to settle. Actually, no, they were. they were even married at the time. They just didn't make it last. So there was something wrong with them, obviously. But yeah, I agree. I mean, she's average. But like I said, if I were into black chicks, I would be fair and give her an adjustable six. Um, and I will only give, and I can't give her a higher just because I've never seen her fresh face out of the shower look like without makeup, without the weave, all that stuff. Like that's how I judge you. Like Kevin Samuel says, fresh face out of the shower, because anyone can look good after having 2 hours of makeup applied to them. Like Oprah used to have a makeup team do her make like she said she used to literally make up her face for like hours before she performed her on her television show because Oprah is ugly as fuck without her makeup. And I'm not even talking about how fat she used to be. I'm just talking about her face. Like she's literally shown her face before and after makeup. She looks just as rough as she did on The Color Purple. Like that's her actual. That's how she actually looks. Is her face how she looked on Color Purple? That's how rough she looks in real life without the makeup. And the sad to say, even on the movie, she's wearing makeup because on the movie you still gotta wear makeup. So imagine her with zero makeup waking up. She looks like Leatherface. Then she fat, so she probably also stink in the morning. But anyway, um, you you got any other examples, DJ? Like, um, because I'm not saying all black women are ugly, by the way. I'm not saying. I'm just saying, yeah. To your point, I think she's average as well. Um, but if you want to throw some other folks out there that I'll rate, there's some people do hate. I'll admit that. Like for instance, just Pearly Things says that Sydney Sweeney is mid. I'm like, how the fuck is she talking about Sydney Sweeney is mid? I'm like, Pearl is mid. Pearl's the 6 foot chick who is a former athlete but still chubby. Got sh- she's wealthy but never learned how to get herself like made up. Like she looks so goofy, and she loves black men even though she talks shit about black men all the time on her show now because she lost her black manosphere audience when they find out that she was just a grifter. Um, so now she just talks shit about black men, but those are all only ones she date because she lacks the self confidence that to think that white men will ever want to date her because most don't, except for those little incels on Twitter. Black Vega. What did he pat? Streamlabs said Black Vega posted a link, so I'm gonna go with my Streamlabs. Whoopsie daisies. Oh no. Oh no. Seems like a boo 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 boo. Anyway, so guys, again, ask your questions. Again, if you are just coming into the chat room, you haven't been here for the past 43 minutes. This is Ask Me Anything, and you can ask me anything as long as it is family friendly. When I say family friendly, that means this is something that you wouldn't mind saying in front of family members. If you would be embarrassed to say it in front of your family members, you probably shouldn't say it here. On top of that, it has to be something that I don't mind repeating that won't get me demonetized by repeating what you've put in the chat room for others to hear. Okay. Other than that, ask your questions. Um, and like I said, because it is Valentine's Day, I will take Valentine's Day questions, or I should say relationship questions. Meanwhile, I'm going to grab some more water. Drink water. Train to kill. Ooh. Speaking of Spotify, so Spotify just sent, sent the notification about music for if you're going on a date. That's funny. Black Vegas says Streamlabs, please refrain from glitching. Well, it claimed that you posted a link, Black Vega. I don't know whether you did or didn't. I didn't see it. Maybe it took your emoji for a link. I don't know. But anyway, like I said, guys, I know it's not very many of you in here, but you can ask questions. Definitely didn't post anything. Yeah, I didn't see a link. That's what I was saying. Maybe I think it may have interpreted your emoji as a link. That's what I'm guessing. But AI does make mistakes. This is why I've said in previous live streams that you shouldn't go to generative AI for definitive questions on things that you don't know, because the law these generative AIs are powered by large language models, which means they can churn out, they're glorified search engines. They can churn out immense amounts of information at this, you know, at the drop of a dime. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the information that they churn out is going to be correct. What it does do, though, is that it is self-correcting. That's why they're language learning models. So it actually improves by people who actually know the subject in which they are conversing with the generative AI about, that it can correct itself when it's wrong. I've done that several times with Google Gemini, and ChatGPT and Grok also do the same things. And I'm guessing so does Microsoft Copilot and the other generative AI programs out there, like the one from Meta. But fuck Meta. I hate everything Zuckerberg does. I hope his empire crashes. Hope the government sues the fuck out of him for creating addictive software. But that's probably a frail hope. He'll probably pay off the right folks through his lobbyists and other sorts of means that super wealthy people do to stay above scrutiny. I mean, look at what happened with Epstein. Like, even after he was initially convicted, he was living like a king. Like, all the stuff he was doing, it was messed up, was after he was convicted. Um, Initially. So again, the super wealthy live an entire different lifestyle. There's a two-tiered system when it there's a two-tiered system when it comes to justice in America. So as as much as America likes to pretend that they're above the corruption and the incompetence of other lesser nations, we're still pretty bereft of actual justice. So that's why I don't take much stock in the American legal system. Like I don't have anything against law enforcement, but the overall legal system is trash, and it always has been. Anyway, getting off that serious topic, let's get back to like lighthearted stuff. Thug License was popping. I'm chilling, man, chilling. I said, just enjoying not having to treat side chicks and jump offs on Valentine's Day. Again, I may do that. Well, I'm probably not gonna do this tomorrow because I might have my wife on tomorrow, so I'm probably not gonna do it. But I was gonna do like a February 15th where I make talk about the side chick day, because I've like I said, if women need to realize, guys too, because guys can be a side piece too. But if you're a significant other, chose not to hang with you today, assuming you have a significant other, and they choose not to hang with you, you are the side piece. Your day is tomorrow when they buy the candy and cards 50% off. Give you the little flowers that's already starting to wilt right over at, Wise or Wegmans or Giants or Shoppers, Food Warehouse, or, you know, wherever they shop. Maybe a local grocery, maybe the Super Walmart, Costco's, Sam's Club. Get you that half off candy and cards. You're the side piece. Sorry, Charlie. Gotta hear from someone. But yeah. So anyway, this is Ask Me Anything, Thug Life. So, I'll take people's questions. They can ask me anything as long as it's family friendly, because people do have to remember I am li- live streaming, so the usual rules still apply to like levels of decency and telecommunications and all that sort of good stuff. So, yeah. But aside from that, people can ask me questions. Like I had some, goofy questions earlier from a bunch of um, dickwads. So, you know, uh, but yeah, it's funny. People will, but it is funny though. Like the folks that were on here earlier, as well as any other day, will come here trying to throw insults and not realize, and then get mad when I fry them. Like, what's up, Agatha? She says, "Hi, sir. Happy Valentine's Day to you and your wife. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm just waiting for her to receive her gift tomorrow, or what? It's actually, oh, it actually is tomorrow over there. So we'll see what time she gets back and she gets it. I'm guessing by the time I get my message, I know she received it. um, but anywho, what's going on with you? What happened with your Valentine's Day, Agatha? You and this long time fiance of yours. Guessing you got a nice gift or two. And were you here yesterday when I was talking about like there are these dope ass gifts that I saw all over Instagram that so I saved them. I saved all of them for future reference. So like if I want to use them for like anniversary gifts or birthday gifts. But there was a lot of dope stuff like Lego love bricks and picture puzzles. Um, the the couples the couples animated photo to look like a Pokemon trading card. Um, a whole bunch. It was like a whole bunch of cool stuff. Agnes says my Valentine's Day is going great. I'm in Florida. Okay, cool. I'm probably gonna get off because, in probably in less than an hour, just because I was waiting for people to come in and ask me goofy questions. Because usually, any other given day, when I have a serious topic, people will come in and ask me random relationship questions. I'm like, bro, I'm not even on that time right now. And they'll be like, I'll be sitting there talking about like some war happening currently, and people be like, uh, what should I do about my girlfriend? I'm like, dude, does this even look like I'm addressing stuff like that on here? I'm like, go seek a therapist. But like I said, when I do these ask me anything formats, and I tell people, go ahead and supply me with these random questions and thoughts of yours, they don't do that. And then when I actually have a specific topic that I wanted to converse about, um, that um, any other day I wouldn't specifically address, then they want to ask me these random relationship questions or psychological questions. I'm like, why didn't you ask that on Ask Me Anything Day? Given that I do them very often. So, anywho, I think I'm about to make me a little personal, like a little mini pizza before I go to bed. Just wondering what I'm gonna watch before I fall asleep. Mm, don't know. What's the best gift I ever received? You mean period, or you mean from like a? Do you mean from like a girlfriend, or do you mean like any sort of gift from an ex? Okay, okay. Um, well, I didn't have my first girlfriend until I was 14. I mean, I had like you had those little fake relationships in like elementary school or whatever, but those don't count. Um, so I'm gonna start back to when I had my first girlfriend and when I was 14. Um, she bought me uh she bought me the Return of the Dragon on VHS. That's like one of my favorite movies. Um, so I had my wife watch it with me last week. No, 2 weeks ago. So I told her like, so I was like, this my first girlfriend when I was a kid bought this movie for me. I was like, it's my favorite Bruce Lee film because it was the it was the only film that he himself directed, produced, and choreographed it himself. So it had more. So the movie had his own, more of his own like personal footprint in it than any of his other movies did. In Return of the Dragon is Way of the Dragon, but released here in America, it was called Return of the Dragon because it wasn't released until after his death, when he became famous from the movie Into the Dragon in 1973. So a lot of movies that came here after the fact had different titles than the original titles there. So it was Way of the Dragon, but I'm just calling it Return of the Dragon because that was the name of it as the the tape she bought me. That was one of my favorite gifts. And I remember she was nervous that I wouldn't like it. I remember I think I bought her a Ren and Stimpy um stuff stuffed animal. She liked it. She it this and these this was for like a Valentine's Day gift as well. So she bought me that, and she wasn't sure I liked it until I was like, "Hey," I was like, "Can we watch it?" And she was like, "Sure, yeah." I was like, "Cool." And so she was relieved because she knew I actually liked the gift because I was like, "Yeah, can we watch it?" I was actually nervous to ask her, "Can we watch it?" Because I didn't think she would want to sit there and watch a old like an old kung fu movie with me, but she, she did. Um, what was another gift? I had another girlfriend. She bought me the first Wu Tang, uh, the first Wu Tang album, Into the 36 Chambers, Wu Tang Clan. That was like another one of my favorite gifts because I love that tape. That's one of my favorite. That's still one of my one of the best hip hop albums to me. I think is Into the 36. Excuse me, Into the 36 Chambers with the Wu Tang Clan. She bought me that tape. I played that shit to death. Like I played that tape so much. So that was another one of my favorites. Too bad she wasn't a good girlfriend. The first one, she was a great girlfriend. Our problem was we were living long distances. We met when I was living in Philly, and then when I moved back to Baltimore, like she decided she wanted to be my girlfriend. So we decided to date long distance, and there was a lot of long distance phone calls and writing love letters and me sneaking off to Philly during the weekend to go see her. um, And you would have thought my mom would have liked her because she, she wanted me to be with a dark skinned girl. Well, that didn't end up happening for my wife because she's not even black, much less dark skinned. But um, they get along though. She likes her, so that's cool. But yeah, I think she didn't like the fact that I was dating someone long distance and driving up the phone bill. But yeah, but the second girlfriend wasn't a good girlfriend, but that was a great gift. The Wu Tang Clan album. Well, she bought it for me on cassette. What was another good gift? Um, I had another girlfriend. She made me a mixtape. Like if you're Gen Z or you're a younger millennial, you don't notice. But if you're an older millennial or Gen X, you remember when girlfriends or guys as well. But you remember when people who had a crush on you would make you a mixtape, and it's a significant gift because they had to actually take a blank tape and spend their time recording the song, especially like if they recorded it from the radio, they had to do it when the DJ isn't talking through the song, and make sure the commercials aren't in it. Um, have each song back to back. Like that took quite a bit of editing skills. And yeah, getting a mixtape. I remember the mixtape. I don't remember all the songs, but I remember it was like um 112 and I forgot all the songs on it. Um I remember I used to make my own mixtapes, not for other people, but for myself. But to get a mixtape from a girlfriend, that was cool. So that was another great gift. Um but your question was what was the best gift? I'm not hmm, best gift. Um Best gift. As of now, I'm gonna say when my wife accepted my proposal. um, she's bought me a lot of cool stuff, by the way, but her accepting, my hand in marriage, that was my best gift. And I think the only thing that will top that will be, when we have, our children or whatever. So, but that would be the best gift. But if you're talking about from an ex, then but if you mean from an ex, then I'm going to say um shit, there's a lot of exes though. Cause now I gotta run through my memory of high school and undergrad. Shit. And the army. Um mm, huh. So if it's from an ex, then I'm gonna say the Return of the Dragon Bruce Lee VHS tape from my very first girlfriend when I was 14. Well, she bought it when we were 15 though, but um, I'm gonna go with that if we're talking about from an ex. But if you're talking about if we're not talking about exes, then I'm gonna say my wife when she accepted my proposal. So Anananki of Gem City says my wife just needs to buy me Magic the Gathering cards. Here, 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 here. That's cool. If she knows what you like, then that's a good thing. If she knows like that you like Magic the Gathering, and she actually knows like the specific cards to get you to supply your deck, that's even better. That means you guys have a good relationship. Like I said, yes, long distance didn't work for me also. Yeah. I mean, so that's not what killed the relationship that I was living in Baltimore and she was living in Philly because that wasn't that hard of a distance, even though neither one of us were driving at the time because we were both 15. What destroyed it was then she moved even further. She moved to New Jersey. I mean, it wasn't too far from Philly, but it was still, it made it the chasm even wider, like moving to Willingboro, New Jersey, even though Willingboro is still like South Jersey, but that made the chasm even farther. And then even if we did uh, rock out with it when she moved to New Jersey, then I moved to the DC suburbs, so it just made things even further. Like we went from like an hour and a half apart to about 2 hours apart to about 3 hours apart. It's like no. Again, as kids prior to there being Facebook and you're not driving. That was pretty tough. I guess is my first boyfriend cheated on me. He had an NYPD detective. Um, my mom. Oh, he cheated on me, and NYPD detective. My mom caught him with a girl at Macy's shopping. I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess that does suck. But as my grandmother used to say, you're single until you're married. So, uh, but she said he was my first love. I was devastated. I had to leave New York for a bit to protect my mental health. I'm sorry to hear that. Um, first loves can be, you know, like my first girlfriend that we were tough, we were tight. I wonder if she was how devastated she was when I stopped, contacting her after she moved to New Jersey. But again, I'm pretty sure she realized after some heartbreak that it was for the best because it was just too far. Even though we did briefly did get back together when I was living in the DC suburbs, just because I was lonely, I think. But I was like, nah, I can't do this. Plus, it was too many dope ass girls in the Montgomery County, North Virginia, and PG County area. So that quickly took my mind off of the loneliness and all these little hot little Spanish girls all over my neighborhood. So, hey, anywho, yeah, I get it. That can be devastating. The second girlfriend I mentioned, the one who bought me the Wu Tang album, she cheated. Like I was mad, but I didn't get too worked up about it because I didn't have that strong of feelings for her. I liked her, but I wasn't like in love with her or anything. And it was funny because people kept comparing her to my cousin because she was like really she was very light skinned and tall and played basketball like my cousin. And they was like, oh, he dating someone like his cousin Ebony. I'm like, no, I'm not. That's what. And they were friends. I was like, so because this is my older cousin, so she was like a big sister to me. So that was creepy to me that people were saying that that my girlfriend was like my older cousin. Um, but yeah, she cheated on me, and I even I realized that she was probably doing her thing because she wanted to keep our relationship secret. It wasn't until we went to the junior ring dance and people kept asking me questions about her that it kind of leaked that we were dating. And I thought she was just saying she didn't want people to know we were dating to keep people out of our business, especially as she was the more popular of us. Like my I got more clout when people realized I was dating her. Especially people didn't even know that we were dating because and 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 then they had the suspicions when we came to the ring dance, the junior ring dance, and our outfits were coordinated because she actually took me to the mall with her to specifically find matching outfits. And um, I may have posted the picture on my YouTube news feed years ago about that. I'm not sure. I know I posted it on other social media, but anyway, she cheated. She cheated probably several times. And to even confirm it, my homeboy, who was my best friend at the time when I was still living in Baltimore, was like, "Yo, she ain't any good." He's like, "I'm gonna prove it." He's like, yo, she tried because he was like, yo, she was flirting with me. I'm like, what? He was like, no, he said, no, I'm gonna get the evidence just to show you so you know she ain't any good. So he went up to her and was like, what you trying to do if I let you wear my chain? And she's like, sure, whatever you want or whatever. And he actually, you know, had caught her in the act for me, just so he could show me that like she's like, that she's hot in the pants. And when he brought me back the evidence, I was like, yo, that's fucked up. He was a man, don't even worry about it. He was like, yo, just drop the B. So, you know, I was just stopped talking to her for like a week or two. And she was like, yo, what's up? We haven't heard from you in a while. I was like, yeah, I've been busy, but I was like, you've been busy too. And I was just like, yo, that's kind of foul how you try to get with my man Brent. Um, blah, blah, blah. I was like, F you, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Um, let's, and it's like, this is over, whatever. And she was chill about it. She just wrote me a letter like, oh, I didn't know that's how you felt. Such and such, my bad. And like, yo, whatever. And that was it. And she stayed cheating. Like then she was dating one of my homeboys a year later when I moved to the DC suburbs. I only found out because I came back to my previous high school for their senior trip just so I could hang out with my old friends. And she was dating my new homeboy. Meanwhile, she was fucking my roommate that I stayed with in the hotel during our senior trip. Like she was smashing another dude on the trip. I'm like, damn, she with my man, and she's like fucking multiple other dudes on the senior trip. That's crazy. And for some reason, this dude, knowing she cheating on him, still ended up marrying her after we graduated from high school, and she left him and became lesbian. I'm like, ain't that a bitch? I guess it says when you break up with someone, do you just block and delete or ignore them or ignore their call? Yeah, I'm a dude, so it doesn't benefit me to stay in contact with someone after I break up with them. For what? Unless they still breaking me off some cheeks. I'm not. No, I'm good. Like, why would I still give them boyfriend attention if the relationship is over? That's a waste of my time. And I'm definitely not doing anything for them. Like, if they want to throw me the cheeks, I might do it depending on how good the cheeks were. But I'm not wasting any time with them. She said, I'm speaking like in college. That's a line never cross dating friends. I don't know. Dating friends is probably the best type of relationship because you actually have something in common besides sexual attraction. Egon Christie says, I banged the teacher's aide on my senior trip. That's hilarious. I mean, hey, if the teacher's aide want to give up the cheeks, shit, hey, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But wait, why did y'all have my question is, why was there a teacher's aide on your senior trip? Like, is that common? Like, I always think of senior trip just being just the students. I've never heard like of a teacher's aide accompanying the students on a senior trip. I don't know. I guess there's different sorts of senior trips, but like I said, it was just all of us students. We pooled our resources together and organized this trip. And we went down to uh, what's that beach we went to Myrtle Beach. Yeah, we went to Myrtle Beach and had some fun. You know, I may have slammed a few cheeks down there myself, but it wasn't my ex. I actually woke up with her in the bed with my roommate, and she was like, "Hey, you want to go grab some breakfast or whatever?" I'm like, "Yeah." So that meant they wanted some alone time, so he could smash. So I was like, "All right, bet." I'm not a hater, so I left and went to go get my continental breakfast while he broke her back in. So I didn't care. Only thing I did care about was that was my homie's girl. but but my roommate was one of the homies too. So well, hey, whatever. I guess as men will be men. Exactly. Like I said, I'm no. If the relationship is over, I'm not wasting time talking to someone. Like you no longer have the benefit of wasting my time with useless banter, um, or messages and texts and stuff. Like there's no point to it anymore. Like there's no target goal for the guy anymore once the relationship is over. Like I said, if you want to come over and supply some cheeks, then sure. But that's again, that's only if I really like the cheeks. Because not every girlfriend I really like the cheeks I could do without after we break up. Like, the cheeks weren't all that. Like I just liked her because I liked her as a person, but the cheeks were mid. The cheeks were mid. That's why I need my rice bunny cheeks. But anyway, I guess as I remember in college, one of my professors was so handsome I was feeling him. Yeah, it was a few. I remember it was a few professors and TAs that the co-eds really liked. Like they were pretty vocal about it, or if they weren't vocal about it, like you could see them, like it would be like a TV show, a movie where all their heads are moving in unison when the guy's moving about or you know whatever. Eon said she was supposed to be a chaperone. She often substituted, and she also was the girl's assistant track and field coach. Okay, well she assisted you. That's all that matters. Um, anyway, guys, I'm about to go. I want to eat a little bit of pizza before I go to bed. Um, again, I gotta find a doable time where I can get a lot of folks to hang on, so that we can have some better conversations. But yeah, I guess for some senior trips there would probably be like a chaperone, especially if you're like flying somewhere. But like for us, we didn't have to fly anywhere. We just took like one of those big coach buses, and trekked it down to Myrtle Beach. That that was a far trip. Like driving from like Baltimore all the way to Myrtle Beach. That was a trek, and it was during bike week, so all the women had to. So that was during bike week, so it was. I wish we knew. I think we were too young to rent bikes anyway, so never mind. But man, it was popping off with bike week. All these chicks were like on the back of their man's bikes with the short, with the little Daisy Duke shorts with the cheeks hanging out. Man, it was crazy. It was fun down there. Anyway, that's how you know this is a dated conversation because I don't think they have bike week down at Myrtle Beach anymore. Just like they don't have the Freaknik anymore. Like you used to have bike week down in Myrtle Beach. You would have the Freaknik in Atlanta, um, and you had all these other little type of jump off events in different parts uh, of the South during like summer and spring break type events. Those don't exist anymore. I don't think. Although there's a great docu series about the Freaknik on Hulu. People want to check that out. And I was half expecting to see Friends down there, but I didn't. um, anyway, I'm gonna go, guys. But take it easy, Egon, Christy. Thanks, Agatha and Carlton. Thanks to the trolls too, because the trolls supply me with content to roast them. All right, guys, I'm out. Take it easy. Peace out.